Good afternoon, Commissioners. We are live and recording.
Troy, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. I am going to reconvene our meeting this afternoon. We're going to begin our land use and public hearing for this Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. If you'll all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Teal is representing the board at Water Congress and has an excused absence today, so it'll be Commissioner Thomas and myself running this meeting. Attorney Garcia, do we have certification of today's agenda?
You do. The County Attorney's Office reviewed the only item on the agenda, and you have proper jurisdiction, and there was not an additional notification requirement for this.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. And do any commissioners have disclosures for items on this agenda today?
I have none, thank you.
Thank you, and I have none either. With that, we'll move to item 2, which is our land use meeting agenda items. Item 2A is Cross Creek Final Plat, Project File SB 2023-017. Carolyn Washi-Freeland, AICP Senior Planner, presenting for staff. Hi, Carolyn.
Hello. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Carolyn Washi-Freeland, representing Planning Services. The item before you today is the Cross Creek Final Plat. The project number is SB 2023-017. Mike Sanders and Karen Henry are here as the applicants. The applicant is requesting approval of a final plat to subdivide a 28.99 acre site into 102 single-family residential lots and 11 tracts. Lots will range in size from 5,400 square feet to 6,200 square feet. Approximately 10 acres of parks, open space, a trail connection, and 2 pickleball courts are proposed with the development. The intent of the final plat process is to provide for the review of final engineering plans, the subdivision improvement agreement, public dedications, and other legal agreements. The final plat process begins with submittal of an application, following a review period by referral agencies and the public, and acceptance of engineered plans. The request is considered by the board at a public meeting. During the process, no public comments were received from abutting property owners or nearby neighbors. Referral comments were addressed by the applicant, and all required reports and studies were accepted by Douglas County Engineering. The site shown here with the red star is located in the northeastern Douglas County, just west of Highway 83 on Scott Avenue. The site is highlighted in red and is located on the north side of Scott Avenue, approximately 1/2 mile west of State Highway 83. The parcel is zoned planned development and is situated within the Pinery SUA. PD zoning abuts the site to the north, east, and south, and open space conservation zoning to the west. The site is adjacent to undeveloped land and the Cherry Creek floodplain to the east, open space and floodplain to the north. The Hungry Horse open space is located to the west. The Stone Creek subdivision is located south. As background, the property was zoned Agricultural 1 with the inception of zoning in Douglas County in 1955. The property has been historically used for agricultural purposes and a former tree farm. In 2022, the Planning Commission approved a CMP land use map amendment to include the property in the Pinery SUA. Later in 2022, the Board of County Commissioners approved the Cross Creek PD rezoning, and the preliminary plan was approved on April 25th of this year. Here is the proposed subdivision plan. There will be 2 access points from Scott Avenue. The proposed lots will take access from 4 interior public streets. The proposed 11 tracts, which represent over 30% of the property, are designated for parks, open space, and utilities. The applicant has proposed internal trail connections from the subdivision through the existing Cherry Creek Regional Trail located to the west of the property. Additionally, a passive park, a nature trail, and 2 pickleball courts are proposed throughout the subdivision. Open space areas have been cited to preserve areas of significant slopes, natural vegetation, and wildlife areas. The Scott Gulch floodplain does not encroach on any of the proposed lots, and it will be preserved within open space in the northwest portion of the site. A letter of map revision was issued recently to accurately show the floodplain boundary. The applicant will provide more information on the corrected floodplain in their presentation. Here's a bird's eye view of the Cross Creek property showing the topography of the site. The Cherry Creek Regional Trail System runs adjacent to the west property line. Scott Gulch floodplain is located on the northwest side of the property, and Cherry Creek floodplain is shown to the east. This site view is from Scott Avenue near the main entrance of the site. This view shows the southern boundary of the property. This view is looking east from the property line towards the Cherry Creek floodplain. The off-site detention pond will be located east of this general vicinity. This view looks west from inside the property, and the Cherry Creek Regional Trail is further west from this view. Existing tree groves are prevalent throughout the site. This view is looking north from the property line. Scott Gulch is located to the west, and Cherry Creek is north of this site. Before you are the approval standards applicable to the final plat. The subdivision improvements agreement and all engineering reports, studies, and plans for the final plat have been approved. Staff has evaluated the final plat in accordance with Article 5 of the Douglas County Subdivision Resolution. Should the board find that the approval standards for the final plat are met, the following proposed conditions should be considered for inclusion in the motion. Condition number 1, prior to the final plat recordation, the board shall accept and record the 2 required off-site drainage and blanket access easements. Condition number 2, prior to the final plat recordation, the applicant shall provide a financial contribution of $1,000 per lot for a total of $102,000 to Douglas County Parks and Trails as required by the Cross Creek Plan Development. Condition number 3, prior to the final plat recordation, the required prorated contribution of $49,860 for the traffic signal at the intersection of Scott Avenue and State Highway 83 shall be paid. Condition number 4, prior to the issuance of the first residential building permit, within the final plat, $639,654.24 shall be paid to the Douglas County School District for cash in lieu of land dedication. Condition number 5, prior to the issuance of a building permit for each lot, the voluntary school capital mitigation fees in the amount of $2,730 per dwelling unit shall be paid to the Douglas County School District. Condition number 6, during construction activity within the development, the applicant, its successors, and assigns shall take reasonable care to watch for historic and paleontological resources and other cultural history resources, and shall immediately notify Douglas County and complete appropriate Colorado Office of Archaeology and Historic Preservation data management forms in the event of such discovery. Condition number 7, during construction activity within the development, the applicant, its successors, and assigns shall conduct a burrowing owl study if any earth moving will take place between March 15th and October 31st. Condition number 8, prior to the recordation of the final plat, any required technical corrections to the final plat exhibit shall be made to the satisfaction of Douglas County. Condition number 9, all commitments and promises made by the applicant or the applicant's representative during the public meeting and or agreed to in writing and included in the public record have been relied upon by the Board of County Commissioners in approving the application. Therefore, such approval is conditioned upon the applicant's full satisfaction of all such commitments and promises. Section 504.06 of the subdivision resolution sets forth the parameters of the board's determination on final plat requests as noted on this slide. This concludes staff's presentation, and I'm available for questions regarding the staff report. Otherwise, Mike Sanders and Karen Henry are here as the applicants, and they also have a presentation.
Carolyn, thank you for that great presentation. Any questions for staff?
Carolyn, thank you for that information. I do have one question. This is about the condition number 3. Prior to the final recordation, the required pro rata contribution of $49,860 for the traffic signal at the intersection of Scott Avenue and State Highway 83 shall be paid. Do you happen to know how many projects have to come together? I'm wondering if they all need to be built. Jeanette's motioning you.
Yeah, we'll let engineering answer that question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if this is something that will be done when this project is complete, or if there's other projects involved, and that's what the pro rata share is, and if there's the states involved or the counties involved in that pro rata share as well.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Al Peterson for engineering. Yes, the Stone Creek subdivision, the Cielo subdivision, and this one are all participating in this signal. In fact, it's been approved by CDOT and is getting ready to be constructed now. This is the final financial piece to make that completion.
Oh, good. So it's not the completion of the project, it's the approval of the project that triggers the payment.
Correct.
Perfect. That's all I needed. Thank you, Al, for that help.
Any additional questions? Okay, I have no additional comments or questions. We'll have the applicant come forward with the presentation, please.
This is 5989 Interlochen Street, Parker, Colorado, 80134. We do have a presentation prepared. I'd be more than happy to go through that with you if you would like. Or I can just, I can zero in on a couple of questions I know that have been asked by staff and by Commissioner Thomas that I can address if you'd like.
So, Mr. Sanders, this is your application, so we're here to listen for as long as you'd like, or if you want to make an abbreviated presentation, that's entirely up to you.
That's fine.
And I'm happy to respond that I read the packet, and I understand what's going on, and this is a final plat, so thank you.
Great. So, first of all, Carolyn had said that I would explain a little bit the corrective LOMR process. What essentially happened was there was some inaccurate mapping done by FEMA, and it was brought to our attention by our consultants and the engineering department that we should look into it, which we did, found the errors, so we processed that corrective LOMR, so that has now been completed with all appeal periods passed. And then secondly, towards your question on the contribution of the traffic light, we have been working very closely with staff, engineering staff, and just this last week, we realized there was another area that probably needed some contribution by this project, and that's a future light at Scott Gulch and Bayou Gulch Road. So we did some traffic analysis, and so along the lines of commitment number 3, I'm hereby committing that we are also going to agree to pay our pro rata share for that light, which totals $24,621, and we will also be paying it prior to the plat recordation, so that engineering will have that money to go towards any future lights they need to have at that time.
Great. And while you're on that, Mr. Sanders, do you accept all the conditions as presented, all 9?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you.
And the developer and builder on this that we're representing will be Toll Brothers, and they are concurring as well.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
If I could just ask, you just made a promise that's not one of the 9 commitments, so that falls into the number 9 commitment of all promises made here, so that's an additional add that you're contributing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for that information.
It's kind of an add-on to number 3, because it's almost the same language, just a different light location and different number.
Thank you for that support.
Great. So with no additional questions or comments for the applicant, let me open it up for any citizen comment, either in the room or online. Is there any citizen comment?
Commissioner, I have no online comment.
Okay, thank you, Troy. And with that, I'll close citizen comment, bring it back to the board for any further discussion and/or a motion.
I have a motion to approve the Cross Creek final plat because it does meet all of the approval criteria in the 9 conditions as presented. Project file SB 2023-017.
And I will second that motion. Any further discussion?
I have none.
And I have none either. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that carries 2-0. Though there are no public hearing agenda items today in item 3, the next land use meeting public hearing will be held on Tuesday, September 12th, 2023 at 2:30 p.m. We are adjourned.